Hello everyone and welcome to the Saturday practice review for the 2020 Portuguese Grand Prix. Let's take a quick look at the Drivers' and the Constructors' Championship. Formula One heads back to Portugal for the first time since 1996. We're at the circuit of the Algarve in Portimao. Just 6 races remain then on this redesigned 2020 calendar. We're in the middle of a run which takes us to Grand Prix that either have never been on the calendar or haven't been for many years. This weekend, the Portuguese Grand Prix. Next week, a 2-day event at Imola for the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix. Then we take a break before Turkey rejoins for the first time since 2011. And then in late November, we're in Bahrain. A week later on the outer course for the Sakhir Grand Prix. And the season rounds out on the 13th of December in Abu Dhabi. Lewis Hamilton leads the Drivers' Championship by 69 points after Valtteri Bottas failed to finish last weekend's Eiffel Grand Prix. He's now in a battle with Max Verstappen. In terms of the midfield teams, a podium for Daniel Ricciardo has promoted him to 4th place. The battle between him, Perez, Norris, Albon, Leclerc and Stroll and Gasly is still very much up for grabs. On the second half of the page, the battle could still include Carlos Sainz, only 2 points away from Pierre Gasly, Esteban Ocon in sort of on a midfield battle of his own, Sebastian Vettel just 17 points to his name, failing to score last time out in Eiffel as well. From Dani Kvyat and Nico Hülkenberg now on 10 points, Giovinazzi 3, Raikkonen on 2, the same as Romain Grosjean, who has finally scored points this year. No points on the board still though for Nicholas Latifi or George Russell. In terms of the Constructors' Championship, Mercedes could wrap it up this weekend if Red Bull score no points. Racing Point versus McLaren and Renault, the battle to watch for over 3rd place. Ferrari sort of on their own on 80 points. The same could be said for AlphaTauri on 67, Alfa Romeo on 5, Haas on 3 and Williams on 0. It's a very demanding circuit this. The drivers are saying they're loving it, but the lack of grip is hurting them. Let's take a look around Portimao with IndyCar's James Hinchcliffe on Project Cars. Let's take a look at the Autodromo Internacional de Algarve, or Domínio Portimao in Portugal. The first time the race has been held here for Formula One, and the first time in Portugal since 1996. Riding on board in IndyCar with James Hinchcliffe down towards turn number 1. A quick flick to the right before a longer little straight to turn 2 and turn 3. Heavy on the brakes as you begin to go uphill now. Control the wheel of the slide coming out. A blind apex to turn 4 as you run down to the very long hairpin. Turn number 5 past the hotel on your left. Downhill braking zone. Be careful not to unload the front left tyre and lock up. Run deep into the hairpin, get a good exit speed as you run up now towards the kink at turn 7. Double apex right now for turn 7 and 8. Quite similar to what we see at turn 1 and 2. Easy to have the car understeer. Uphill now towards turn number 8. It's a quick kick to the left hand side. Another blind apex before turn 10 and 11. Hard now on the brakes into double barrel corner. Drop down the hill towards turns 12 and 13 on the track. Again, it is double barreled, hard to see with a blind apex. Hug the inside line. Now you can get the power on as you drop downhill through the last corner on the track. Full throttle, full power, uphill now. The long drag, the only DRS detection zone on the track. Full power, fling the car to the right and hope for the best as you're on to the start-finish straight, long in the DRS zone and across the line to complete the lap of Portimao, or the circuit of the Algarve. So let's get into the third practice review then, and straight away, Valtteri Bottas again topping the timesheets here for the Portuguese Grand Prix. A dominant Mercedes as well. Lewis Hamilton dropped down to 2nd place with Max Verstappen in a close 3rd as well, but he was having some grip issues and the headwind was affecting the top speed of the car. After an incident in FP2 as well, the session was relatively sedate date, but it did get more exciting in the end. The session was red flagged with just 2 minutes to go due to Sebastian Vettel bringing up a drain cover at turn 13. There's damage to the Ferrari, they're changing the floor and welding currently back the conditions for the tarmac, so qualifying might be delayed. Track limits again revised after yesterday's 125 lap calculation of deletion of times, but now the drivers are allowed to go onto the curb at the exit of turn 1 and 4, but still we saw times being deleted in today's session as well. Max Verstappen the most on the medium tyre early on as well. AlphaTauri's Pierre Gasly up in smoke in FP2, but the car was reported to be very good today, which was great news. Charles Leclerc going well overall. McLaren's looking strong. Renault's good as well, but it was an interesting session only at the end. Let's take a look at the times, though, from FP3. So Valtteri Bottas once again tops the session here from Lewis Hamilton in second place, Max Verstappen third, Pierre Gasly fourth, Alexander Albon rounding out the top 5, Charles Leclerc 6th, Carlos Sainz 7th, 8th place on the board for Sergio Perez, Lando Norris 9th and Esteban Ocon rounding out the top 10. Sebastian Vettel is 11th, Danny Kvyat 12th, Kimi Raikkonen 13th, 14th for Daniel Ricciardo, 15th for George Russell, 16th for Lance Stroll, must do better to get out of Q1, Antonio Giovinazzi 17th, Kevin Magnussen 18th, Nicholas Latifi 19th and Romain Grosjean in 20th. We'll be back then for qualifying at 1:50 UK time. Join us live from us all here. Bye for now from the Portimao circuit.